Good morning everyone, today we're going to be talking about all the different mechanics for the Blazing Battle limited time quest so that you guys can clear it a lot easier, and I hope that you guys spread this video around so that everyone knows the basic mechanics so that playing with random players is going to be a much smoother experience if everyone knows what to do. But before we jump into all of that, if you're new to the channel, I upload NGS content daily, so if you do play this game, I would really appreciate a subscribe as it really helps out the channel. Anyway, without further ado, let's begin the video. So before we jump into the guide, the first thing I want to share is of course today's keyword. Today's keyword is goodbye_to_the_heat. Alright, once you type that, you're going to press escape, go to systems, go to get campaign items, receive item account, and David plays NGS. You get 50 star gems as well as a weapon camo, so make sure to pick that up. Now this weapon camo is pretty awesome, however it only applies to assault rifles, so just keep that in mind. The next thing I want to address is, yes, I did get an Octo armor Arga. I know a lot of people have a lot of questions about this armor. I will be answering all of those questions tomorrow, but if you have any specific questions, let me know in the comment section below and I'll make sure to answer them in tomorrow's video. But the most important thing that you need to know about the Octo armor Arga is it gives you 40 HP, 6 photon power, as well as 4.5% melee, as well as range potency. That is its base stats. Now all of my stats over here are inflated simply because, well, I have augments on my armor, which is why it boosts all of my different stats. But with all of that said and done, let me walk you through all the different mechanics for the Blazing Battle. This LDQ is relatively simple. You do not need an insane amount of damage as long as everyone is doing the mechanics. So at the very beginning, it's fairly simple. You're simply just going to go for it and you're going to kill all of these mobs, alright? Once you kill these mobs, you can see there is an explosive barrel right behind these mobs. There was a barrel right there. You want to hit it as soon as possible because it will deal additional damage to these bosses, or well, these mobs. And then the next thing you want to focus is that little yellow canister behind his back. Now you don't need all 4 people to target these 2 mobs because, you know, it's only 2 normal mobs. So what I usually do is I just destroy the yellow thing and I immediately move on to the next mob. But not in this case, you know, I continue fighting over here, but you can move on to the next pack of enemies immediately after destroying that because, well, then they just become 2 normal enemies. As you can see over here on the far left corner, there is a pig with a little yellow symbol on its head. These yellow pigs actually increase your timer by 10 seconds every time you defeat them. However, there are gold variants of these as well, which increase your timer by 20 seconds. The main thing you want to look is at your minimap. They will be signified by a yellow dot on the map. Now you can increase the size of your map so that you can see them more clearly. However, I just like mine super zoomed out. But basically, you want one person, usually the weakest person in the party, to target all of these little pigs, because by hunting these down, they will increase your time significantly. You can gain over a minute of extra time simply by hunting these down. So as we can see here, we kill that. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to kill this silver Noxy is what it's called. And you can see the moment we defeat it, it said target enemy defeated, additional time 10 seconds. So once that's done, you're immediately going to move over to the rock bear. What you want to do is you want to bring it to the flower over here because the flower is going to deal tons of damage. So you bring it close and then you hit the flower and it explodes, and then you can immediately photon blast right after, since you did pick up one of those photon blast signs. So here we go, it blows up, and there we go, we photon blast, we deal tons of damage, and it's dead. Alright, the moment the rock bear dies, you're going to notice there are 4 packs on the mini map right here. So there's 1 pack right here, 1 pack here, 1 pack here, and 1 pack here. What you want to do is you want to split up. You can send 2 people north up here and 2 people south down here. However, if you want to be ultra efficient, you would split up and have 1 person take each camp at the side over here. The reason for this is because you're going to use the mechanics to kill the mobs incredibly quickly. So in the footage over here, I'm actually going to go to the closest camp, which is directly up or north, and I'm going to show you the mechanics for this. What you're going to do is you're simply going to jump on this booster pad. The moment you hit the booster pad, you're going to use a diving attack and ground pound, and it's immediately going to do a gigantic shockwave, which will kill everything because it does like 30,000 damage. So you can see right here, boom. Once you jump on this launch pad over here, you're going to notice there are these rings around you. Once you see these rings, you're immediately going to use your diving attack, and boom, look at that. We just killed every single mob around us. 23,000, 23,000. There's a bunch of 23,000s. We have killed all of the small mobs immediately, and there's only the big mob remaining. So we're just going to quickly finish it off. All right, once we killed that mob, you're going to notice there's a silver pig right here, and we're immediately going to take it out for an additional 10 seconds. As we can see, the moment we we killed it. You can see right there, target enemy defeated, additional time 10 seconds. And you can see that I have another teammate over here dealing with this pack over here. So I finished mine really quickly, so I'm going to go over and help them. Now the other side, or the south side of the map, is the exact same thing. However, the mobs are a little bit different. The mobs on the south are going to be a little bit more harder because there is an equalizer, so you do need to deal with the equalizer. However, if you use the mechanics and you use the launch pad into the diving attack, it actually kills all of the mobs except for the equalizer instantaneously. So you just need to focus on one mob instead of getting swarmed with a bunch of mobs and having to struggle because you're trying to kill the equalizer and everything else is distracting you. So over here, you can see I'm heading over to help Susu over here, and I immediately go on the jump pad. However, that jump pad over there that launched me up did not give me the rings. I actually need to jump off this jump pad specifically to gain the damage boost. So over here, you can see I ground pound and it does nothing. It only does 2,100 damage instead of 23,000 damage. And that's simply because I did not get the buff. So it's very important that you actually get the buffs over there so that you can deal additional damage. As you can see over here, this is an enhanced enemy, so we have to destroy the little yellow thing behind them, and then we can kill the boss. So once that's done, you're going to see right here, enemies destroyed, time added 30 seconds. Every time you clear a wave, you get additional time. However, on top of that, the tames also respawn. So remember those tames that we killed to gain 10 seconds, 20 seconds, so forth and so on. There are set spawn locations for every single wave. So what you want to do is you want to kill the tames as soon as possible whenever they spawn, whenever you get the chance, because the moment you get to the next wave, all of the tames from the previous wave will despawn. All right, so you want to make sure that you kill the tames as soon as possible. Next phase over here is very simple. On wave 3, you simply destroy all the explosive canisters to kill the laser donkey things in the sky, and then we're just going to hop over here. You can see there is a tame right there. There's another silver one. Again, you just want to look at your mini map. You can see there's one over here, one over here, and one over here. This one's a silver one, that's a silver one, and this one's a gold one. So at the beginning of each wave, you want the weakest player to spread out and actually go and hunt down all of these tames in order to increase the time. Now remember, you don't want everyone to spread out and kill the tames. You only want one person to do it because you need the other 3 players to actually kill the rest of the mobs so that you can move on to the next wave. So you can see over here that I'm simply moving over to this one right here. It's a little bit far, but don't worry, we ground pound and we kill it. Boom. Then we can take the launcher pad and move over to the far one over there. You can see on the beach, there's another one right there. I'm actually going to use this bouncy pad to deal additional damage. You see I deal that 28,000 damage. We bouncy pad again, and you can traverse the map really, really quickly. Here's another pig, and we get another 10 seconds. Now, what I should have done over here is I should have killed this one over here on the right side, but I forgot about it. But that one will give us another 20 seconds on the timer. So that is my mistake over here. So over here, again, you just want to kill these 2 mobs. It's fairly simple, very straightforward. You just DPS, DPS, DPS. You can use the little ground pound thing or the booster pad in the sky if you want as well. But look at that. We immediately moved to wave 4. And remember that golden pig right there? It despawned because we moved to the next wave. So in wave 4, you're going to notice that there are 2 piggies up here. However, there's also piggies across here at the beach. So as I keep moving forward, you're going to actually see 2 piggies. You can see right there, number 1 and number 2. And the back one is actually a gold one. So we're going to kill these 2 laser donkeys immediately by using the booster pad. Boom, they're dead. And we go over here, we kill the silver piggy, and we get 10 seconds timer increase. And back here, this one is the golden piggy, and this one will actually give us 20 seconds. So we kill that, and look at that, we have 2 minutes remaining on wave 4. I think my fastest time was when we were on wave 4, we had 3 minutes remaining, and that was like a 5 minute and 45 second clear. I think that was my fastest record so far. But nevertheless, you just want to kill those immediately. Something you don't want to destroy are these canisters. There's 2 canisters, one over here and one over here. You want to save these for the last boss because these canisters deal frost damage, and it just so happens that Doldorus that spawns on wave 6 is weak to ice. So if you leave these canisters up, the moment Doldorus spawns, you lure him into one of the barrels, you hit it, and he immediately gets frozen. So that's why you don't want to destroy any of these explosive barrels, and you want to try to avoid them. So what you want to do over here, you can see we're actually dragging the enemies away from those barrels so that we don't accidentally kill it. We want to kill that equalizer immediately. You can see that I'm bouncing around and I'm actually picking up these blasticines in order to photon blast. But what I should have been doing is I should have focused on these 2 extra piggies back here, because time is way more important than helping out the team right now, simply because I am the weakest player here. Well, I say I'm the weakest player, but I don't actually know. But nevertheless, we were killing all these mobs, and bada bing, bada boom, and we move on to the next phase. So as you can see right now, we are on wave 5 and time added 60 seconds. So we have 2 minutes and 27 seconds remaining. So this part is going to be a little bit tricky, because what we want to do is we want to pick up the gun. So there is a cannon that is right here. So you're going to see there's a cannon right here. We're going to actually pick up the cannon, and we're going to drag the dragon as well as the mage guy all the way to this flower bomb over here and blow them up together. So you're going to see right here, I'm actually going to pick up my gun, and boom, we've got our cannon. I'm just going to start focus firing on the quartz dragon. And if you look at the mini map over here, I have Rappy as well as Willis baiting the boss over towards us. This might take a little bit of practice. It's not super easy to bait the boss over, because there's a little ledge over there and the boss doesn't like to jump up ledges. Sometimes it like resets it, but basically you need to get the boss to jump over this ledge, and then once he's done that, it's smooth sailing and you can just simply drag him over to the flower. So you can see over here, we are baiting both bosses towards the flower, and then we're going to blow up the flower to deal tons of damage. So now the bosses are close enough, we hit it, and boom, that was like 100 and something thousand damage on the quartz dragon. And we're just going to kill them really quickly. I do recommend using the cannons for these bosses, because if you are efficient and you do kill them relatively quickly, you still have a lot of time to use the cannon against Doldoris. I know some people like to save the cannons for Doldoris, but personally I think this is faster to just use the cannons now. Once this is done, there is a skill over here that is on mouse 4 for me. It was going to be mouse 3 by default, but this is actually a jetpack booster thing. You can see right here, you can immediately get over to the boss super quickly. However, it does drain your photon power, so just keep in mind that you do need some photon power to get here incredibly quickly. But look at that, we are at Doldoris. We still have 2 minutes remaining on the clock. I think we blow up one of the TNT barrels by accident, unfortunately. Or did we break both of them? Yeah, I think we broke both of them, unfortunately, so we did not get the freeze. But what you wanted to do was you wanted to bring Doldoris to one of those TNT barrels. You break it and he automatically freezes, and then you get like an additional 10 seconds of just free DPS because he can't do anything. And if you save both barrels, you can do it again. So it's going to give you a lot of time of free DPS because it's frozen and it won't do anything. But other than that, this part is fairly straightforward. You can target its legs if you want, or you can target the drill head if you want. It doesn't really matter, both work. So yeah, just do whatever your team wants to do, because if you hit the leg, it actually trips over itself, so you do get additional time to DPS. But if you just focus the drill, this happens and it just breaks the drill and exposes the weak spot, and you can just deal tons of damage automatically. And there we go, we cleared the limited time quest with 6 minutes and 30 seconds. So this is probably like your average time, I would like to say. Now, if you are playing with slightly weaker gear, you can get away with 7 minutes, 30 seconds even, as long as you have that one person hunting down all of the piggies in order to increase the time. It's very vital that you have one person doing that, especially if you have a slightly weaker team, because if you don't take advantage of all that extra time, well, then you're just going to run out of time due to lack of DPS. Then of course we need to look at the gear over here. Now, I've only seen the armors drop whenever I obtained an S rank. I do not know if the armors can actually drop if you get an A rank or below. So if you were able to get an Octo Arga armor without getting an S rank, please let me know in the comment section below, because every time the armor has dropped in my party, we have always gotten an S rank. So at the moment, I'm going to assume that you need an S rank to get this armor to drop, but I might be totally wrong there. But other than the armor itself, the loot itself is pretty mid, you know, nothing too crazy about it. I personally think that this is more efficient if you are running in a pre-made with 4 people that everyone knows what they're doing. This is going to be more efficient than La Ciel Exploration. However, La Ciel Exploration is a lot more forgiving, so you are able to pug it and play with random people, and you're going to be fine in La Ciel Exploration. Versus this LTQ, you are punished severely if you're playing with people that don't know what they're doing and everyone's just kind of doing their own thing. Then there's a high chance of failure, and the chances of you getting an S rank is incredibly low.
Special thanks to all the members for supporting the channel. It really means a lot to me. Thank you again.
But yeah, that's all I wanted to cover in today's video. Hopefully you guys found it helpful. If you did, I would appreciate a like and a subscribe, and I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video. Bye.